Last week on Monday Night Raw, we found out not only that Dean Ambrose, by winning the contract on a pole match, was the new number one guy to go after Seth Rollins in what I guess should be the main event of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But we also found out that baby blue-shirted Randy Orton was going to be going up against John Cena in a Hell in a Cell match as well. Honestly, I knew that Randy Orton wanted to fight the loser of this match. I think it was just in order to have a match on the pay-per-view, but I didn't know that he was petitioning to have a Hell in a Cell match of his own. I know that right now, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins are basically going back and forth, trying to top each other. Randy Orton must be feeling sort of like the other woman right now to Triple H. He's trying to prove himself, while maybe Triple H is sort of flirting with Seth Rollins becoming the man of the authority. Randy Orton is still trying to find a way to show off that he is the face of the WWE, as he likes to call himself, that, he is the guy that everything has to run through. It's kind of weird to me, how Randy Orton is still going along with the flow and the authority, still kissing up to Triple H to try and show himself that he is the man. Earlier in the show, we talked about Brock Lesnar being gone from WWE even though he was champion. It was Triple H who shook the hand of the devil, that was Paul Heyman, bringing Brock Lesnar in and giving him the shot at the championship at SummerSlam. Some would say that Triple H, basically his back was pushed up against the wall, basically with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, basically beating each other up to shreds at this time. How could he give one of them a title shot, seeing how more than likely, if he gave it to one, the other one was going to disrupt the match because they hated each other so bad, and then you would have a SummerSlam main event without some sort of a finish. So he brings Brock in, and now that Brock is the champion and Brock's not even around, Randy Orton is sort of like this prized sports car that's just kept in the garage, waiting for a perfect day to take it out for a drive. But there's no reason to take it out for a drive because Triple H is driving another car around town all the time. That might have been a horrible analogy, but basically I'm just trying to say that he's second fiddle right now, and he doesn't even really see it. And basically that's bringing up, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins bickering back and forth about who's going to be cleaning up each other's mess and everything like that. But Orton and Cena are going to go at it for what seems like about the millionth time. And you can do whatever you can say to try to defend this from wrestling fans, but I think that wrestling fans have already made their minds up by reading the internet that most people aren't even going to give this a chance. I don't know. TLC this year I thought was a great show, with the main event being Randy Orton against John Cena in the TLC match to unify the championship, and then from there they even had a rematch at the Royal Rumble that was interrupted by Bray Wyatt, and from there Randy Orton would make it all the way to WrestleMania as the incoming unified champion before losing the triple threat match to Daniel Bryan, even though Triple H was outside there with Batista inside the ring, basically making it a fatal four-way. They weren't able to stop the Yes movement. And since then, Randy has sort of been just sort of sitting on the sideline. He was in the fights with Evolution, and since then, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything that he's been doing, but him against John Cena is a rehash of their 2009 match, which I watched the other day, which honestly wasn't that good. I mean, it ended basically with Randy Orton choking John Cena out after he'd fallen into the ropes and gotten himself tied up, much like Andre the Giant, where his body weight falls down and his arms wrap around the ropes and sort of get himself stuck in there. And Randy came up behind him and applied this very slow, methodical chokehold where you can definitely tell that Randy was trying to show the camera that he wasn't really choking him out, that he had the elbow properly placed right on the chin, and he choked him out with the chin lock. And then once he was down on the floor, Randy stepped back and punted the 45-yard field goal right upside John Cena's dome, to basically get the win and become the new WWE champion at that time. But we'll see. You know, everybody deserves a second chance. You know, if anybody deserves it, it's 15-time world champion John Cena and 12-time champion Randy Orton. These guys have been through it all, and of course they were going down memory lane talking about who had the better career before they were interrupted by Paul Heyman. And I think, honestly, if there was anything that they could have done to make this match a little bit more interesting, was what they did tonight, by basically saying that the winner of this match is going to be getting a future shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which brought out Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was talking about these guys can talk about 2002 all they want, but the MVP of the 2000 class will always be Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, of course, becoming the fastest WWE Unified Champion at that point by basically beating... Who did Brock beat to become the champion the first time? Oh, The Rock at the Royal Rumble. And from there, he would go on and have the big feud against The Undertaker, involving the big match at Vengeance, where they had the double countout, or the match was just thrown out because they went through the stage. I can't remember what the official name of the ruling was on that one. And of course, then they had the Hell in the Cell match, and then he got beat at Survivor Series by Big Show. You gotta be fucking kidding me. But they just took the title off him for a little bit in order to get him hot, enough to go all the way to the main event at WrestleMania 19 against Kurt Angle. A really, really good WrestleMania match, probably on a lot of people's top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time. Would be a little bit higher on my list if it wasn't for the ending. That crash and burn really takes away from it, but it is what it is. Not really a whole bunch more to say about this. I mean, you've seen Randy Orton and John Cena go at it before. I think I've heard the number. This is the 29th time these guys have fought on a WWE pay-per-view before, and that's a lot for any kind of rivalry that is out there. You just gotta hope that one day down the road somebody will get both of these guys in the same room in order to talk about this rivalry. I would love to see another one of those WWE greatest rivalries that they made in the past for the Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels feud, where they went all over their singles matches, tag matches, the screw job finish, and just basically talked about how they had repaired their relationship and where they were at that point in their career. There was a rumor at one point that they were going to make a Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock DVD, much like this, but I think The Rock is sort of relentless to go full steam into WWE. He'll go in and he'll do a big match for big money on like a WrestleMania pay-per-view. But I don't think he's really willing to sit down for a real WWE network sort of thing. I think he probably thinks that's a little bit low-ballish. But there's a lot of wrestling fans out there that like to buy a lot of DVDs, and it may not be as much money as it makes that he gets paid for a Fast 7 or Hercules or anything like that. But there definitely is a lot of revenue from a DVD like that with big-time sales, Rock. So hopefully you'll sit down and make that. But in this match, who the hell are you picking, Steve? Guess you gotta pick John Cena so he gets the rematch with Brock Lesnar. Of course, he deserves it as it is already. Randy, a lot of people are saying is flirting with turning babyface, putting Randy against Brock Lesnar is a fresh match that a lot of people might want to see. I can easily say that I don't really want to see it. But you got to wonder, is Brock coming back for Survivor Series? Is Brock coming back like most people think at the Royal Rumble? When do you even cash this shot in? If John Cena wins and Brock isn't around, do you just do John Cena versus Randy Orton again at Survivor Series and maybe put the title shot on the line in a rematch? That's something I don't want to see. What if they go all the way? What if they go 3 in a row? They go Hell in the Cell, Survivor Series, and TLC. And then finally John Cena gets his hands on Brock Lesnar. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's this one. Let's get on to our main event.